Nikki Glaser wants to kill as host of the Globes. Is she overthinking it? We come together tonight with a common goal. To the comedian Nikki Glaser, this was a great premise in search of a better punchline. Over Zoom, 3 days after nominations for the Golden Globes were announced last month, she invited ideas from her staff of 10 writers for the opening monologue that she will deliver as the host on Sunday. She and the writers were also together for a common goal, finding something funnier than to get out of here before Dax Shepard asked you to do his podcast. Glaser, 40, seated cross-legged in black pants on her couch in West Hollywood, liked the joke but thought it was too wordy. And maybe she said it could be harsher. One writer, Sean O'Connor, suggested getting out without having a conversation with Jesse Eisenberg. She smiled and said they could think more out of the box. Leave before Harrison Ford snaps at you. Getting Ted Sarandos's personal number. See if they can parlay a Golden Globes win into an appearance on Hot Ones. Glaser considered each punchline politely, patiently responding to every one. She described this as the honeymoon period. Every joke seemed fun and new. She told the group they were on pace to make a great set. When she turned an idea down, she tended to do it with praise. Really good idea, but the writer's room slogan could have been making mean jokes nicely. Riding high after her acclaimed performance at the Tom Brady roast was streamed live on Netflix in May, Glaser is transitioning from star comic to head of a comedy operation. Nikki World. One writer called it as she explained, I used to feel like I need a hand in every joke I tell, but I now know that part of my talent is curating and knowing what works with my delivery. I spent close to a month in Nikki World, observing how her team develops and hones an award show monologue. Later, she spelled out to me how she expected the month before the ceremony to go. She would do the set in clubs every night multiple times, shed a few tears, get bored with her jokes, get worse at delivering them, and then a few days before the Globes have a panic attack. I know myself, she said. That prediction wasn't entirely borne out, no tears. But she was close. What remained consistent throughout was Glaser's stubborn commitment to high standards and getting laughs. We have 5 really good jokes, she told her staff before a slight deepening of her voice and the familiar pivot of a veteran comic. Aim to beat them all. Glaser's lodestars are Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, who together hosted the Golden Globes 4 times. When in a rut, she binges Fey's sitcom 30 Rock. Last night Chris and I got in a big fight and then watched Tina and Amy's monologues again, she told her staff, referring to her producer and boyfriend Chris Convey, who has been at her side throughout the process. Their fight was over whether more people would get a reference to call her daddy, or to Eisenberg. Glaser advised her writers to study those monologues and took a moment to marvel at Fey's starting her 2015 Globes gig by saying, "Welcome, you bunch of despicable, spoiled, minimally talented brats. That's the tone I like where there's an everyman aspect," she told her writers. Smiling, she reflected more. I couldn't go that hard. That might surprise some. This is the comedian whose Tom Brady roast set was so pointed that it made a quarterback who had taken punishing hits for decades say these shots hurt enough that he wouldn't do it again. But Glaser, a self-aware veteran of clubs, podcasts, and late-night talk shows, is highly alert not just to the room but also to her place in it. She would not make the mistake Joe Coy did hosting last year's Globes when he didn't take his writer's advice to start with a self-deprecating introduction, then blame them for bombing. He acted as if he was performing for his fans as opposed to the celebrity crowd and the broader television audience. A marriage starts to unravel on the honeymoon. Glaser said Fey got away with that minimally talented insult because it was her 3rd hosting assignment and she had been a television star for 15 years, a showrunner for most of them. She was talking to peers. Glaser isn't there yet.